What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Thoughts and Divine Wisdom. Yeah, it's been a while. Of course, life is life, but I'm getting the opening to start doing this again. Hopefully, if you're there, welcome to the channel, and let's keep talking. All right, so today I want to talk about being spiritually whole. Now, I know I've said many things on other videos, but I want to go more in depth in what being whole is, okay? Now, most people, when they hear the word whole, they automatically assume that we're talking about external world life. You look the way that you want to look. You have the status that you always wanted. You work the job that you want, that you've always wanted. You do the things that you always want. Your life, you have money and status and happiness and joy and go places. And no, that's the world's definition or society's definition of what being whole is. That's not what being whole is. Being whole that I'm talking about is actually being whole spiritually. Excuse me. Being whole spiritually, that's what I'm talking about. Now, what is being whole spiritually? And what does it represent? Okay? Being whole spiritually is not only doing the internal work, as well as putting down the identity, as well as overstanding the life for the fruits of the Spirit. But it is also, being whole spiritually is overstanding those things, as well as learning to truly love yourself. Not what society tells you what love is, not what your family tells you what love is, not what your friends tell you what love is, but you truly loving yourself. Not only that, but you learn internal boundaries for yourself, for the soft and sensitive people out there. I was one. But it's also about basically learning to say no to. And that was one of the lessons I had to learn, and it took me most of my life to learn this lesson. But when you are spiritually whole, you love you. It's like the saying goes, you can't love somebody if you don't love yourself. You can't help somebody if you can't help yourself. You understand? So with that being said, basically, when you love, and this is what it means by loving yourself, when you truly love yourself, meaning you've done the work and you accept who you are, and you've done everything and you accept what you see in the mirror, the spiritual mirror, you don't need, truthfully, There is no need for anyone else. It's not a need, it's just a want. Because at the end of the day, you love you. And it doesn't take for somebody else to give you that, because you give yourself that. Okay? Now, being spiritually whole has taught me many things. One of the things it taught me was, and I come to the realization of it, is I do not believe in traditional relationships anymore. No, I don't. I don't believe in traditional relationships anymore. But rather, I believe in a conscious relationship. That's what I believe now. Let me explain so you can get an idea of what I'm saying. A traditional relationship, most people get into traditional relationships because in their psyche, in their mind, they believe that if it takes another person, if they don't get this person, they need this person in order to be whole. This is what they think. They go into these traditional relationships in codependency, thinking that this person that I'm being with, I want this person in my life because I believe this person makes me whole. When the truth is, that's far from the truth. The truth is, only you can make yourself whole. Not another person, not a dog, cat, nobody. Not even your parents can make you whole. Only you can make yourself whole. So what people do is they go into traditional relationships with the mindset of codependency. And the little brother of codependency is being clingy and needy. And also with a traditional relationship, you hear things such as, who you looking at? Why you talking to them? Who you talking to? Why you over there? Why you doing that? Why you doing this? All as if that person owns you, when really they don't own anything. So this mindset is what I realize is a false mindset. It doesn't work. And that's why today you see the divorce rates where it's at. People can't even stay in relationships because everybody's walking around with the mindset of codependency, traditionalism. And if somebody does one thing, that other person is like, oh, you talking to my man? Oh, you talking to my woman? Oh, why you do this to me? Why you do that to me? But the truth is, only you can love yourself. And through that, in a conscious relationship, when you have two people who are whole spiritually, meaning both people love themselves in a healthy way, not a toxic or arrogant way, but a healthy way. When two people who are spiritually whole love each other, it gives room for growth, It gives an opening to express. It gives opening to both sides to live the way that they truly want to live. Nobody controlling each other. Nobody trying to show ownership of the next person. In a codependent relationship, these are the things that you get. You get these things. And it never works. This is why you, in relationships, you see people being very possessive. This is why you see people being very clingy, very needy. This is why you see that people in these type of traditional relationships feel the need to show ownership of a person. Like what they're doing is going to make their possessiveness feel any better when it really doesn't. You see? So, in the realms of relationships, this is the thing that you get. And for me, this is one of the things I learned being spiritually whole. There's no need for codependency. There's no need for neediness or clinginess. Why? Because you love you. And that person that you are talking to loves themselves. And when the two come together, it becomes a divine relationship. You know that she is not insecure about herself, and she know that I am not insecure about myself. And that's a foundation of something that you can build on. Now, going back to being spiritually whole. When you are spiritually whole, things in the norm, things at the lower frequencies. What do I mean by lower frequencies? People who care about status, people who care about what other people think, people who care about what their friends think, people who care about what their family going to think and say, people who care about, all these little trivial things. The truth is, the life doesn't, the truth is, when you are spiritually whole, your frequency goes up. And your cares change. It's not like how those lower frequencies think. So when it comes to it, a lot of things up there doesn't affect you. What used to hold jealousy, envy, greed, wrath, all those different things, they don't affect you in that way when you're higher frequency. Because you know the truth. The truth is you love yourself. And the truth is, if I'm just going to kind of harp back to the relationship thing, but if that person is meant to be there, they're going to be there. If they are not meant to be there, then they are not going to be there. That's it. So when it comes to it and everything, I love with my all. If you're going to be here, then come. If you don't want to be here, then go. All I can say is, please don't block the doorway. That's it. While you are here, I will love you with all of me. It's this type of mindset that that you end up getting when you are spiritually whole. Another thing, when the closest people to you is the most hurtful people to you. What do I mean by that? It's not really like when you get to a certain level in your spiritual wholeness, the regular people don't really play a significant factor in how you feel. It's always the people closest to you trying to draw the deepest scars. What brothers, mom, dad, cousins, people who have known you for years, who see you going a different direction, and they try to put a scar, a spiritual scar in you because they may not like where you're going. They may not like what you're doing for your life. They may not like, how you view family now. You see? So, when you're spiritual, as you continue becoming spiritually whole, a lot of things will force you to step away from family and friends because they are still functioning at a lower level. So the things that they're saying things to try to hurt you or break down your confidence, to where what you were trying to do for your life you can't do no more because they've already shamed you to the point where you ain't functioning the way that you normally would. So this plays a significant factor, but when you're spiritually whole, you understand that. And like, for example, when my family starts talking foolishness or whatever, my mom or whoever, I've learned to walk away. Keep my boundaries up. Learn to walk away. It don't affect me none because at the end of the day, I control me. I control what I'm going to do with my life. I control what's going to happen next. So, what she say, I appreciate your words of advice, but it's just that. It's advice. And at the end of the day, I got to choose for me. This ain't the little kid that used to run around the house playing with toys. No, I'm a grown man, okay? And so, yeah, being spiritually whole puts you in a certain stratosphere to where things that would normally affect you don't affect you. And if you are in that realm of things with those people, you already know subconsciously, okay, I'm not listening to this. And you walk away. You remove yourself from the ignorance. And that includes family jumping. You believe in what you believe. You doing what you're doing. But the group within the family is trying to knock you down a peg or two as a group together. No. That's one of the tests and testimonies of your spiritual wholeness that you are going through. Don't you let people, or don't you let family or friends try to deter you from who you are. If they could, they would keep you in that little box where they feel comfortable. But the reality is, no. I've done that most of my life. I'm not doing that no more. I'm here being me now. And if you don't like it, then you can do whatever you want to do. You can go kick rocks. They don't want to hear that. Because for decades they've always heard, they've said these things to you, and you kowtowed, and you formed yourself into their little box, and they was happy and did the thing that they normally did. But now that you are standing up for yourself, now that you learned the word no, now you have learned boundaries. That's a problem to them. That's a problem. Instead of them saying, "Oh, she's become a grown woman," or "Oh, he's become a grown man," instead of them saying that out of respect, they saying who they think they are. Now, the envy and the jealousy and all that stuff starts coming out. Doing backhanded stuff. Now, I'm not saying all families do this, but some families do this. Some families do this. So, and I know with my family, they cool people, but there's some people you gotta look with the side eye like, okay, all right, I seen enough. But yeah, spiritually whole is a beautiful journey, but it has obstacles. Being spiritually whole is a thing of it's a thing that once you have it, it forms itself within your existence. It's a spiritual beauty. It's a spiritual thing of beauty that forms and takes place. It's undescribable. And being spiritually whole is something that when you get it, you will not let anybody take it. I don't care if it's man, woman, or child. Even if it's your kid, you ain't gonna let people take it. You're not gonna let people take what you learn. You're not gonna let people take it. I don't care if it's your parents. I don't care if it's your siblings, family, whatever. You're not gonna let nobody take it. And when you start standing up for yourself, because guess what? In your walk, yeah, you walking and you doing the things you need to do. But the truth is, those people, especially close, that have close relationships with you, they still around. They still around. And oftentimes when you become spiritually whole and you walk a certain way, not like the dogmatic church, if you want to walk around like Joel Osteen, shiny shiny teeth and shiny everything, saying, "Oh, I'm saved," by all means, go ahead. But that's not what I'm talking about. It's something from within that I'm talking about. So, if you walk this walk, there's going to be a beautiful side and there's going to be a negative side. I tried to hit on both so you'll understand this is not a cakewalk, because the people that you once dealt with are still there. And here's another thing. And I just, in the Bible, this is what Christ was talking about. What do I mean? This is what Christ was talking about. Paraphrasing, he said, "I'm here to turn daughter against mother, son against father, brother against sister." What did he mean by that when he said those things? Because that's, when everybody reads that, and I know the church glazes over that, because they're never going to tell you the deeper meaning behind what he was saying. But what did he mean by that? Okay? What he meant by that is, as you are on this spiritual journey in this thing called life that we've been talking about, and as you turn to self and start looking within, start growing, throwing stuff away, and doing all the stuff that we've been talking about, your spirit or your frequency starts to go up. Your frequency goes to a higher level as you continue climbing and growing and everything else. So when everything in your life changes, okay, hold on for a second. Okay, sorry about that. Something going on outside over here, and I'm like, why are they here? Anyways, kind of lost my train of thought there, but when your frequency goes up, okay, when your frequency, as you grow, your frequency goes up. The people who need to see it is going to see it. But that also means the negative people around you is going to see it too. And that negative people could be friends, family, people that you don't even know, seeing it too. So with that being said, when your frequency goes up and everything, some people can't relate to you because they can't understand your frequency. So what do people do that can't understand the frequency that you're exuding? People have the tendency of demonizing the thing that they don't understand. Hence, this is why you have bullies. This is why you have people. You remember back in school. Now this kind of puts this kind of gives you an answer to how things were when you were in school. When you were in school, at some point in time, you didn't say nothing to anybody bad. You didn't do anything to anybody. You wasn't arrogant to anybody. You tried to go to school, do what you needed to do. But for some reason, it was always a person or a group that had a problem with you. And for some reason, they was always starting stuff with you, and you always left the situation like, did I say something or do something to this person? Why do they treat me? Why do they keep treating me this way? Why do they keep acting like they want to fight me? And you ain't did nothing. It's because they can't understand your frequency. They can't understand your frequency at all. So every time they're around you, it makes them feel weird. And since they can't understand it, what they end up doing is some people just walk away like, yo, I don't like that guy, and just go the other way and just, I don't like that person. So they go the other way and just leave you alone. You never see them trying to talk to you. Some people, they demonize, hence try to bully, try to pick on, try to take cheap shots and all these different things. but yet they don't know you from a blue note in the book. So those people who do that are the demonizers. I don't understand you, so I'm going to just start picking on you. That's what that is. That's what they do. Okay? So, you know, in a nutshell, the walk of being spiritually whole is a beautiful walk. But it is not a easy road once you're on this side. Some people will turn to love you, and some people will become a new villain in your life, all because they don't like how you shining, they don't like your frequency, they don't like nothing that you're doing, even though you're not arrogant, even though you don't say nothing to nobody, because they don't like what's happening to you. They are going to become vindictive. They're going to become manipulating and deceiving, evil. So just know that what Christ was saying about the mother against father, the son, against sister and all that. This is the walk that he was talking about. As your frequency gets higher and you start walking the walk, all the people around you becomes distant, far away, non-relative. And the people who have the most problem is going to be your mom, your dad, your brothers, sisters, cousins, because they can't understand you. And this is what he meant by that statement of turning family against family. Because this walk right here is also called walking the narrow gate. This walk that we've been talking about on these videos that I've been doing, this is what you call walking the narrow gate. Oh yeah. What you thought over 3 billion Christians is walking the narrow gate? No, they're not. They're not. There are Christians out here who is more evil than people who are atheists. I know it's a sad reality, but it's facts. There are Christians out here who are terrible people, evil people. Not saying all. I'm saying that there are Christians out here who say, oh, I believe in Jesus and everything, and try to, but they are evil people compared to a person who says, I don't believe, and they walk righteously without any religion or anything. Isn't that something? That says a lot. That says a lot about people. So I say to you, I'm not religious. I am spiritual. I grew up in the Baptist church. I grew up in the Baptist church. Even did some non-denominational churches. But now that I know me, and now that I understand, I do not believe in none of those denominations anymore, whatsoever. I am spiritual. I'm a man who stands on truth. and righteousness. I don't need a religion to stand righteously. Okay? But I know this video, it feels like it, but I know this video is everywhere, all over the place. But I haven't been on here in such a long time, but forgive me as we continue doing videos. It's going to get a lot better. And I promise you it's going to be better quality too and everything. Right now it's evening time, but yeah. But I'm gonna close it up right here. I'm gonna say, for everybody, thank you for watching, and continue your journey. And if you have any questions, anything that you want to spiritually that you're trying to solve in the internal work, please feel free to send me an email at thoughts, the symbol and divine wisdom @gmail.com. Please send me your message there. Hopefully in the future, what I would like to do is I can get a group following, to where people come in and send letters into the email, and I read the email and we talk about it. So that's what I would like to do one day, but hopefully, I don't know when one day is, but until then, send an email. I'll get back in contact with you, or I'll make a video, or to talk about it. But thank you guys, I appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I look forward to talking to you guys again. Until then, stay blessed like the best. There you go.